Whoops. Test 1, 2, 3. Gut. Okay, weird. All right, let's get this started. Welcome everyone to this day's stream. We will continue with our series of fictional fantasy characters, and today I will paint a female one, and it will probably be kind of a countess with dark magic witch type of character, and we will see what we can come up with. So, but for some reason my streaming software sucks a little bit tonight. I hope everything will work and will not crash. That's my hope. Sorry, I'm just checking everything because I have to look at the chats manually, and this is a little bit annoying. Anyway. Danke fürs Hosten, Aschenebel. Hey, Lori. How is it going? I'm fine. Just a little bit tired. And I'm a little bit annoyed by my streaming software because I can't monitor all the chats at once. But well, I hope my computer won't crash because I have like tons of tabs open to monitor the chats. Hey, Squishy. It does, but for some reason it won't forward the messages from Twitch in the chat monitor. And it hasn't been doing this for a month now, which annoys me. I have to contact the support and ask them what the hell is going on. Yeah, as I announced last time, this time I want to draw a female character, and I have something interesting in mind. I hope it will work. Yeah, as I've been saying, yeah, female character, and I think it will be a countess, a dark countess, kind of witch type character with a Victorian clothing style. So a little bit more modern, maybe slightly steampunky. We will see. At least that's the idea. And this time I probably will focus more on the upper body because the legs and the boots are not super interesting to paint. And I would like to work a little bit more on the expression. Yeah, me too. What's my favorite things to draw? Good question. I think it alternates. You know, when I was in school, usually you draw faces because for some reason that seems to be the most interesting thing. But there was a time where I just painted environments and I wasn't really interested in portraying humans and characters. So I really can't tell. It depends on my daily mood. What do you prefer to draw or paint? Hmm. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Being able to set yourself in this setting you're painting. I have to scale it down. It's too big right now. But what you're writing, this is something I also try to do. Make a story around this landscape I'm painting, or some kind of, emotional connections to it. So it will be more believable. It's a difficult phase. Whoops. Yeah. Computer is already... yeah, thank you for the notice. Yeah. Yeah, if my computer crashes, then I'm sorry. I'll try to get back online as soon as possible. I have the idea that it might be connected to my, how it's called, not hard disk space, but my RAM. And I've checked it before I started streaming, and Windows said there is no problem, but I don't trust the diagnostic tool. So I'm trying to go for a little bit orientalic look in terms of ethnic background for the character. Something maybe African or something like this. So I'm experimenting a little bit with the proportions of the face. Yeah, you're right. I also put more faith in the diagnostic tools I download from the internet than the native Windows ones. So, yeah. Thing with the faces is like every pixel counts. If you're not right about the proportions, our eyes recognize it immediately and it looks wrong and weird, and I just wanted to indicate some shadows and highlights on the face, but I realized that I have to go more into detail for it to work properly at this point. Until I can leave it as a satisfactory sketch. Yeah, definitely want to make it a little bit more darker skin, but yeah, I can adjust that later on. I just need to figure out the proportions first. That's my biggest obstacle currently. Just don't want to... Yeah, it can be a crossover between Asian, African American, something interesting in terms of ethnical background, but yeah, we'll see. It's actually something you would put a lot of research into if you were a character designer, to figure out all the phenotypical traits of different races. Yeah, but this is satisfactory. She doesn't look as derpy as she looked in the beginning, so I will take care of the details of the face later on. Just need a vague orientation, that's all. Yep. She doesn't look as mean right now, but again, facial expressions and all those things later on. It's just supposed to serve as a template right now, because the face is... I'm not sure if I want to make it the main focus right now. I actually still have some ideas for her wardrobe. Don't worry. Say hello to your grandmother from me too. So again, I'm trying to make a little bit more distinctions between all the separate parts on her, on whatever she's wearing, and use values for that, and shadows, which is basically values as well. And I think you don't have even to be very detailed. It's enough if you have differentiation in terms of value and some noise within the object, just to stick to the overall concept and not get lost too much into details. Sieht aus wie Loki im Inka-Stil, ja. Auch eine gute Mischung. Na gut, Loki wegen der Hörner natürlich. Ist, glaube ich, gerade keiner, der mir zuguckt, sowieso. Oder auch auf YouTube ein paar. Hehe. Okay. The question is, how can I push her more into a Victorian type of design? I mean, on the one hand, it's all black and blacks when you look at their dresses. So I'm not entirely sure how to approach this, since I haven't painted too much of the Victorian stuff before. Wrong direction. Der Mann trinkt immer aus einem Messbecher. I think one other little problem that accompanies me is I haven't warmed up properly. I'm still too rigid in my head. I don't let the image guide me. Try to force something upon it that maybe does not work. But hopefully I can fix this along the way. Show me the way. Ciao. to remind myself to stay a little bit loose in my brush strokes, a little bit more undetermined. I'm always fascinated what makes a good image, and sometimes it's not technique, it's rather a feeling, a mindset, an attitude, a rhythm, how you paint. Welcome back. Oh. Yeah, the lady spent some money on clothing. Yeah, I think I want to go into a more steampunky direction. Or, yeah, Victorian style. But I'm trying to figure out, because Victorian dresses have a lot of details, and I'm not exactly sure how to portray this without losing myself too much in the details. Maybe indicate them here and there. And I want to make it asymmetrical a little bit. Loads of things that are asynchronous in a way. Probably not really classified as an armor in this case. Yeah, probably because of the feathers. Hmm. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit too cautious. I'm not sure if I if I found my rhythm yet. Maybe the vision is still too unclear in my head. I don't know. Quite difficult to find the right sweet spot when the image starts talking for itself. Yeah, possibly. Well, I'm not unhappy where it goes. It's just not exactly what I intended to. It's just maybe the level of detail is not sufficient enough for me to generate more ideas out of my mind. Still kind of forceful with the designs, but hey, you never stop learning. But I feel I'm getting more comfortable with the theme here. I mean, it's not exactly my everyday subject matter to make a crossover between a witch and a steampunk style, Victorian style countess, but hey, this is just for fun. And I can see it's beginning to work, so it's fine. It's always when you start out with something without too much of a concrete idea where you want to go, it's always a very nerve-wracking process in the beginning, especially when you're doing it live. You really need to be stubborn in your pace, in your rhythm. And I have to say, the approach I'm doing right now is more a practice type of approach. If this were to be a concept for a client, I would just pick tons of images of the internet and just collage them together because it's faster, just to check if the design goes in the right direction. Here I'm not even using any image plates or something. Everything is hand drawn, so it's a different type of painting style, painting concept, methodology, however you want to call it. But I'm quite happy how the drapery turns out on her left sleeve. Yeah, man. I mean, before I do the stream, I usually take at least half an hour and search refs just to pump in some ideas into my head. But of course, it's supposed to look good somewhat. This is the reason I try not to be too explorative. and rather pick up a couple of cliches and reiterate upon them, so it's a little bit easier to improvise on the themes given. Alright. It's time to drink out of the Messbecher again. The measuring cup. Half a liter done, half a liter to go. Hi, headshot. The previous one, I think it was Horvek, the orc. Alright, Laurie, have a nice day. I drink out of a measurement cup because it's more convenient to make 1 liter of tea instead of 3 cups of tea and run into the kitchen 3 times as often as I would do usually. It's ugly, but it works and it's efficient. Yeah, thank you for getting to the point quicker than I do. It's simply bigger. Whatever, I'll leave it like that. I drink coffee, but it's more warm milk with a taste of coffee. Warm, sweet milk with a taste of coffee. I don't like this dirty water type of coffee that is so intense that you get brown teeth from it. Okay, time to take care of her face. Interesting point, Laurie. I heard similar stories. People going to Las Vegas and they're getting served like 1 liter cups of fresh pressed orange juice, which is super. How should I say? Decadent, extremely decadent. And if you don't have to run for a refill and you drink all this stuff, of course you get a little bit, heavier. If it's sugary, it's a sugar beverage. Yeah, starts to look a little bit more badass. So I hope I'll manage to drive her direction more into a more African type of face. But it doesn't look bad so far. I mean, the lips are quite Africanized. Yeah, from the distance already starts to satisfy me. Would like to enhance her cheekbones a little bit. Cheeky cheekbones. Every pixel counts in the face. Right. Welcome back. This character is going to be an how should I say, a countess, a dark magic wielding countess in with a Victorian dress and an African face. I hope.